Welcome back to another Sculpt Session Sunday. I'm your host, Sash. I'm here with my bestie, the most wonderful, the most beautiful Manzizel with a shizzle.
Hey guys.
And today, Mans and I are going to be having a conversation that I feel like everyone and anyone could tune into, could listen to, whether you're a competitor, whether you ever plan to compete or not. And that is, should you compete? And this conversation is, yes, for the most part, going to be revolving around bodybuilding, but I also just really want to drive the point home, like right off the bat. Everyone should do something challenging at least minimum once in their life. As
Mm.
challenging as a bodybuilding competition, whether it is a prep, whether it's a marathon, whether it's a high rocks, whether whatever tickles your pickles, okay? Do something that difficult. And I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there is, funny enough, Higher Up Wellness. I refer to him because I enjoy listening to his podcasts and the people that he brings on. He did a podcast with, oh my God, I don't remember his name, but he has this yearly goal that every single year he does something extremely difficult, whether it's an Ironman, whether it's like something very difficult, because that is one, a goal to work towards. Two, it's something that you set for yourself. Three, it's an accomplishment that you achieved. So rather than just going through life, working your normal 9 to 5, doing your normal thing, whatever the case is, like having something that you set and that you achieve and that you reach. So a great example, and I'll let Mandy give hers. What is something that you're working towards that's difficult this year?
Ye- I don't know why I'm so like giddy all of a sudden. I'm so shy.
Stop.
Uh,
You're shy? Shut up.
I'm so shy. Uh, I am working towards whether it be this year, probably next year or beyond, honestly, realistically. But you never know. I'm working towards my IFBB Pro bikini card.
Yes.
And part of that is getting back on stage after 3 years off.
Yeah, which is something incredible and difficult, and that's going to challenge you in the best way possible. So, like a bodybuilding prep is what you're working towards this year, and that is awesome because come the end of the year, regardless of how your placing goes, how your shows go, how everything's gonna go, which we're gonna manifest that it goes well. We actually just did a podcast on Mandy's channel about manifestation. I don't know if this is gonna come out before or after that, but anyways, you should shoot on over to her podcast, Unfiltered and Functional, and go check that out. But anyways, regardless, at the end of the year, you'll be able to look back and be like, I did that. I did a bodybuilding prep. I got ready for a show. I crushed it. I got back on stage for the first time in 3 years. That's a win. Next year, or this year, or whenever, you have that next goal of IFBB Pro card. Or if you get it this year, then it's either grow into a competitive IFBB Pro or compete as an IFBB Pro already. Like whatever, is going to be the next thing. So that just goes to say, like, having that one really big goal of something that you accomplish every year is incredible. Now, if that feels like something that is very out of reach for you, something that is very not attainable for you, you should do something difficult at least once in your life so that you can look back and be like, I did this. I proved to myself that I can do this. You see how much you can actually do, how hard you can push past your limits and push past your beliefs. And bodybuilding is the first that comes to mind for me because I feel like that teaches you so much about yourself physically and mentally and pushes past so many freaking barriers. So I just want to have a conversation about that. And I feel like there's a lot of different reasons why people go in for a bodybuilding show and like wanting to compete. So I just want to straight off the bat ask you, why did you decide to compete?
So the interesting thing about that, in my opinion, was I had an unworthiness thing at first. I had been working out at that point maybe 7 years. So I'd gotten like a good deal of muscle naturally. And in the back of my mind, like this was the Instagram era where all the fitness influencers were there, and of course, like some of the fitness influencers were also bodybuilders.
Mm,
And I always had it in my mind, like, oh wow, that would be really cool to do that, but like I'm not there. Like I couldn't do that. I don't look like that, which it was definitely a form of body dysmorphia because like I did look like that. I just couldn't see it clearly. But that's like where that seed was initially planted, where I was like, oh, that would be really cool, but I don't think it's for me.
mm,
And then probably a year after that, I made friends with a couple girls in the gym that I went to. And one of them kind of voiced and was like, are you going to compete? Are you a competitor? And I was like, oh, whoa, wait, if somebody's asking me this question,
maybe I
does
should.
that mean like I could do it? I could do it.
Yeah.
Like if they already think that I am one or that I do compete, then why not? So for me, it was a little bit starting in a wounded area where I didn't believe I was like worthy or capable of doing that. And then once I got that external validation, I was like, oh, whoa, is this the permission slip that I was waiting for? Even though you don't need one, you do not need one. I'm going to repeat that. You just have to decide for yourself to do it. And that's how I kind of pulled the trigger. I was like, oh, I'm already there. I just can't see myself clearly. And that's how I got into it. And dude, I went so ham. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Like, I'm such a nerd. I know you know this, Sasha, but like, oh my God, I'm like, I gotta, hold on. I'm like, we gotta research. All right. So I'm like,
She pulled out the
um,
glasses, guys. It's serious.
where are my glasses? I like, I gotta research. I'm like, what do people do? I'm on YouTube. I'm like, what do competitors do? How do they eat? What are their daily routines like? What does their lifestyle look like? Because on Instagram, it's the highlight reels, right? So we
Yeah.
see these influencers, we see these bodybuilders, they're in the gym, they look great, but then on their stories, they're going out at night, they're drinking. That was the era it was in, whatever. I'm not a drinker. So I was like, I want to do this right. So instead of just following those fitness influencer bodybuilders, I went on YouTube and I'm like, I need to follow these Olympians. What are the pros doing?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that have the blueprint to get to where they're at and what they're doing. If I'm going to do this, I'm not going to half ass it. I need to do it the right way. So if that means not drinking alcohol, boom, I'm there. If that means
Done.
going to bed at 8 p.m., fine, I'm there. If I'm getting up at 4 a.m. to get, 3K fasted steps in, fine, I'm doing it. And I did do it. I did it. It was in like late summer or fall. The sun wasn't even up. It was 4:30 in the morning and I'm walking laps outside of my neighborhood. I mean, my neighborhood's safe, but I had mace. I got my flashlight. I got my hoodie up. Like I was 8 miling that shit. I'm like, we're doing it.
I
Um,
love it.
because that's very quickly became my thing. Or as soon as someone was like, "Oh, are you a competitor?" I'm like, "Well, fuck yeah, I am."
Now I am. Now I am.
Yeah.
I love what you said about well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. And second of all, I absolutely love what you said about the permission slip and not waiting for a permission slip. And if you feel like you are, because I think all of us in a sense want that validation that like we're worthy to do something or like we can or we're capable. Even if we know that we're capable, there is that self-doubt that always creeps in. So just right off the bat, if you're waiting for a permission slip to do something that's going to push you to the next level, that's going to make you uncomfortable, but you know is there's a greater goal behind it, take this as your permission slip right now.
Mhm.
Whether it's a bodybuilding prep, whether it's a high rocks, whether it's locking into your macros so like and checking off every single box there is your macros, your freaking training, your water, your everything, like whatever it is that you're looking for a permission slip for, take this as your sign that you're receiving one right now, even though like Mandy said you don't need one. This is us giving you permission to
Yes.
go and go off birdies, leave the nest, go do something, go fly, okay. And second, I love that shift that you had in, first, am I worthy to do this? And then when you did get like even that like small tiny bit of like, hey, are you a competitor? Like, oh shit. Okay, I got that. Now I'm doing it and you did it and you're continuing to do it and you're evolving as a competitor. And that brings me to the point of like why people choose to compete and like the reasonings that they choose, how far they can hold on to those reasonings to get them further in the sport. And like your starting point doesn't have to be like where you are at now. Like before it started for you from like a worthiness standpoint, like am I worthy to do this? Now it's, oh, I want to see how far I can get this. Like now I want to challenge myself. Now I want to be better than I was. Now I want to beat myself. Now I want to become a better version of myself. Like now your reasoning as to why you're doing this changed because before it was just to prove to yourself that you're worthy enough to be up on a stage. Now it's I'm gonna beat the girl that stepped on stage the first time, which you already have times 10. But like now we're taking it to the next level of, okay, I want to do this. Yes, there's the aspect of the aesthetic and there's the aspect of like the discipline chasing and like the really wanting to have something that you're locked in with. But more than anything, it's you wanting to be better than yourself. And I think that's one of the most important things that no matter what you decide to do, no matter what challenging thing you decide to do. And we'll keep tying it back to bodybuilding because I've never done a high rocks, I've never run a marathon, I've never done any of those other things. I can only speak from my experience of bodybuilding, the highs, the lows, the preps, the off seasons, to say that like when you set a goal that is so like your why is so deep and it's not just, oh, I just want to step on stage in a sparkly bikini. Yeah, no, duh, all of us do. We all want that show day glam, the glitz, the hair, the makeup, to look and feel good, to be able to show our friends what we're doing and like show ourselves what we're doing. But like more than anything, it's having that internal driver of I want to be better than myself. I want to prove this to myself. I want to take the next level somewhere because that outside of like, oh, just wear a sparkly bikini, like that's not going to drive you to get on the Stairmaster every morning. And if it does, it only drive you for so long. So when you are considering whether you want to be competing or not, really getting down and dirty of what your why is and being able to sit with yourself and understanding that initially it was from a place of validation and a place of, and very similarly, like I experienced a very similar experience when I decided to compete. Like I was going to the gym, I was training. It was something that I kind of saw online. Like I was already getting like similar following my influencers, seeing some of them are doing something similar to that, but I actually had no idea like that there were different divisions. I knew nothing about bodybuilding when a girl came up to me at the gym and was like, "Oh, are you competing or like have you ever considered like you have the physique?" And one thing turned to another, and I ended up getting in touch with somebody that knew my first coach, and then they put me in touch with my first coach, and like that was that. The ball started rolling from there, and I ended up getting on stage 9 months later. So like there sometimes needs to be that initial push. And I kind of want to jump in with this topic being like who should compete or like should you compete to talk about the health factors that go into place real quick, just to touch on them. And again, this also attributes to any physical challenging thing that you want to do. There is a very important well, there should be a very important emphasis on making sure that your health is in an optimal place beforehand. And sponsored, but not no, this is actually not sponsored, but like if you are having any health issues as far as like hormone, or you think it could be hormone, or gut, or you think it could be gut, Mans works with an awesome company. She is a functional coach in herself, but like she also works with a company that runs the gut tests and all of that kind of fun stuff, all of the stuff that you would need to heal your gut from the inside out. So this is something that I'm learning from Mandy as well. I'm being mentored by her as of right now to get more into the functional space so that we can make sure that your body is primed before you go into something like a prep or something challenging of those sorts. But her information is going to be linked down below. So if you feel like this is something that you are struggling with or aren't sure if you're struggling with or not, I would definitely recommend reaching out and getting your health in a good place because if your health is not optimized before you actually start, you could get yourself to, it can actually do more bad than good. And I think that we really need to put some emphasis on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the free shout out. Not sponsored, but I love her so much.
Love you.
Yeah. If your health definitely isn't in an optimal space, I've seen it numerous times, like, and I will never stop talking about the negligence. It's okay, Sash. My health was also not great. Like, we shared the same coach. our coach saw my labs and was like, "Well, your hormones suck." And I basically told her, "Too bad I'm doing this." So I will give her that credit that she was like, "Mm, this isn't great." And I was like, "Well, I'm going to do it anyway." So um and that was me being stubborn because I did know better. But what I've seen more so, because that was an informed choice I made, I'm seeing other women, other competitors, men too, not being able to make that informed choice.
Yeah.
While I knew better, there are so many people out there that don't know and they're not educated, and it's not their fault because they just don't, they're not aware that's something that they should be focused on. And these coaches that recognize that their protocols are probably going to be maybe on the not so gentle side, um, especially if you're a natural competitor, then it is super vital to understand, regardless of your if you're enhanced or natural, your health is going to take a beating in a bodybuilding prop. I
Yeah.
also can't speak towards high rocks or Ironmans or anything like that, but those are very intense sports as well. Your health is going to still guaranteed take some sort of hit. And the way you prime yourself before you go into that prep or before you go into that competition is going to dictate how you come out the other side and how your health manifests.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to think of it in the way the foundation that you lay shows the results that you achieve. Like
100%.
whatever is laid is what you build on top of. So if this is already cracked and now you're pushing more weight on it, it's only going to run it deeper. Like, and like Mandy said, any even when your hormones are and just like your health is in a really good place, which with Mandy's help, I was able to get mine to a really good place after my first prep because that was a really huge mistake on my end. And I wish I heard a podcast like this when I was just getting into competing because I probably would have still done it. But I would have known better. And I always say that if I didn't do as well as I did in my first show, I don't know if I would have continued competing just because of how much damage it did do to my body. Because I had maybe 6 months prior to gotten off of hormonal birth control. I didn't have a good period happening. My gut health wasn't in a good place. I wasn't eating whole foods. Like there was just so many things so many factors that went into place here. And the last preps that I did were so much better. And yeah, I will be completely transparent. I did lose my period, but I lost my period 6 weeks out from my show rather than 9 months out. Yeah, 9 months out from my show. Like I literally lost my period the first time I prepped 1 month into prep, which is absurd, like
Yeah.
not heard of and wild. So that's like a little tangent over here, but that just goes to say, like, if competing is something that you're considering, or doing something challenging that physically is taxing is something that you're considering, but you are not taking those precautionary steps first to optimize your health, to make sure you're in a good place, to lay that foundation down, we are making it very hard to actually be successful. And that brings me to the next point where not necessarily laying like the health foundation, but laying the habit foundation. And I feel like not having good habits set in place when it comes to something like competing and getting ready for a show is like essentially going into it blind and having to figure it out as you go. And that's not impossible, but it's a whole lot harder to get it all figured out.
Yeah. And detrimental.
Yes,
Detrimental. Yeah.
extremely so.
I think if you have really solid genetics, those people can get away with it. Otherwise, for the majority of us,
You
mm-mm,
can't.
no.
You can't. You simply can't. But I mean, all in all, competing and doing those kind of difficult challenges doesn't only reveal your physique, it reveals your habits, it reveals your routine, it reveals how strong of a mind you have because all of that teaches you so much about yourself physically and mentally that I feel like I said in the very beginning, I feel like this is something that everyone should do at least once in their lives to experience the challenges of it, and then also to experience that feeling of accomplishment that comes with it, of knowing that you set your mind to do something like this and then you got it done. And I mean, man, do you have anything else that you want to share about this?
Yeah. For those individuals that don't want to compete or aren't, what are they called? Run. I almost said racers, but racers
Racers,
too. If you drive a
runners.
car, racers, runners. Um, for anyone that's not really in that physicality, like our point is, yes, you should, push your body to see what you're capable of, but to another extent, I think both Sasha and I have seen a lot of clients and then a lot of individuals that aren't clients too that leave all of their potential on the table. And at the end of the day and at the end of your life, do you want to be the person that is reviewing everything and says, okay, well, I worked 9 to 5 every single day and I had a family and I did love them, but like I woke up, I went to work, I came home, I ate dinner, and I went to sleep, and like that was 60, 70 years of my life? Or do you want to be like, wow, I can't believe that I did research in the Amazon jungle, or I did run that Iron Man, or like, wow, what a great thing to accomplish.
Yeah. Or
So,
I competed in bodybuilding competitions, or I got my IFBB Pro card, or I did
yeah,
a high rocks and
I
whatever. Like,
I think so many people don't even give themselves the option to be as great as they can be.
yeah,
And that's what we just want you guys to do is whatever dream you have that seems like way crazy, take the crazy label off of it. Be Delulu as fuck and then try.
yeah.
Just
Delulu is the Salulu. I had a friend comment that I posted a TikTok about like being so delusional and now like getting like companies reaching out to me and living the life that I dreamed of living. And she commented, she was like, Delulu is the Salulu. And I'm like, that's Trulu. Like, that's true. That's very true. It's truly Delulu until it works.
right. It really is. So let it work, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I feel like this is such a great place to wrap up. And as always, if you have any questions about competing, about preps, about uh, timelines of preps, anything along those lines, we love having these conversations. So feel free to comment down below if you want any podcasts or any conversations for us to have around these topics or any other topics. And our DMs are also always open. I will link our Instagrams down below. Like I mentioned earlier, hop on over to Mandy's podcast every Monday for Unfiltered and Functional. And we will be on here every Sunday for Sculpt Session Sundays. If you're listening on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if you're listening on Spotify, we know we say this all the time, but a 5-star rating really does go a long way and really does help us creators grow and keep doing what we love doing. So that would mean a lot to us. But thank you for tuning in for another Sculpt Session Sunday. And this is just your, again, invitation and key card to go and do something difficult and something that you will be proud of. But we will talk to you guys on the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.